You mentioned Ramadan before.
Yeah, it's coming on up.
And do you and the Baha'is have a fast very similar to Ramadan?
Yes.
No food or drink from sunrise to sunset.
Yes.
For 19 days, so it's a little bit.
You guys get 11 days. Shorter.
It's a little bit more milquetoast. But what is that experience like for you? How do you find it spiritually rewarding and challenging?
Growing up, it was just about being around family. It reminds me of my mom and dad. It reminds me of when I was in third grade, my grandfather and my grandmother living with us. It reminds me of, the sun is setting. We're all breaking fast. We're all eating together. Like, it's those feelings. Oh, it's Eid. Mom is going to get me new Jordans as like my Eid present. Like, oh my God, I'm going to get a Sega Genesis because it's Eid. Like,
Eid is the end of
Ramadan. Yeah. And it's like Christmas, but for real. Like we earned.
You've gone through something.
Yeah. And to me, it was awesome because like capitalism is meeting spirituality. It's like you paid, you did 30 days. You deserve a Sega Genesis. And I'm like, I do. Like I can feel it in my bones, literally. Yeah. But also there's something really cool about the night prayers and going to the mosque. And, I remember I was living in LA at the time, and when you go to the mosque, what's really cool about the American Muslim community is how diverse it is. So I remember going to the North Hollywood Mosque. The mosque is like the size of this room. And in the room, you will have Bengali cab drivers, you will have Indian uncles, you will have Egyptian uncles, their children, kids running around and screaming, rapper Lupe Fiasco, all praying.
Amazing.
Like a Bengali cab driver is praying next to Lupe Fiasco, one of my favorite rappers of all time. And like, I'm here. And we're in this like shoe closet in North Hollywood. Yeah, it's just a really amazing experience.
What about on a personal level? I know in the Baha'i faith, eating before the sun rises and maybe having some tea and some water to get you through the day. By the way, I'd love to hear what you like to eat in the morning before a day of fasting.
Sure.
But then
you like vegetable dates?
I don't really like the dates. Yeah.
Oh my God.
You go with the dates?
Of course. You guys, Baha'i people don't do dates.
No.
Oh man, I got to put you on vegetable dates.
Okay.
Yeah, dates are incredible.
All right. I'll get it.
I have some great dates at home. Okay. I should have brought them. I have some great dates at home.
I'll give you my address. You can send me some dates.
Sure, I'll send you dates.
Amazon, one click.
I'm not even gonna do the Amazon. I'm gonna put you onto some real good dates.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
They're so good you might convert.
But I think there's something so powerful about breaking bread before the sun is coming up, and then like finishing, and then watching the sunrise and being in prayer and in meditation, having started in the dark and then the sun rising. And there's such a beautiful kind of metaphor to the sun being like God, like a metaphor for the power of Allah and creation and light and warmth and heat and growth and life-giving force, and being in humility before that as the sun moves across the sky and saying, I am foregoing the comforts of the day in terms of food and drink.
Well, there's two things that are like really that I've only gotten to appreciate as I've gotten older. There were some moments where I was in my 20s and I'm like, this is just legislated dehydration. Like, why is this like spiritual dehydration?
The water's the harder thing than food.
The water and the coffee is so hard. Like the coffee headaches are really tough. But there's two things that are really cool, Rainn. I was like, oh, this is awesome. So I don't do all 5 prayers. I really want to, but I miss them. On a good day, I might get 1 to 3.
Okay.
If I'm going to be 100% honest.
Okay.
Don't fact check me. Or God's going to fact check me on the day of judgment. But what's really cool is during Ramadan, it's not just about abstaining from food and water. You're not supposed to backbite, lie, cheat, curse. There's all these other things about being a good person. And if you violate those things, those will also make your fast invalid. So that's one piece of it, of like, oh, I have to actively think about what am I doing? Like, what is my day-to-day life? What am I implicitly or explicitly participating in? So am I talking to Rainn, and then when I leave and I'm outside and I'm talking to a friend, be like, Rainn is totally out of his fucking mind. Like, I'm backbiting and I'm cursing. Like, that's not good. I'm not supposed to do that. And it would some would argue it would negate my fast. But the other part of it is you try to the best of your ability, you're supposed to make all 5 prayers from sunrise all the way to the night prayer. And what's cool about that is it's the first time generally during the year that I flip the script. So normally my life is Google Calendar first, and then spirituality and all that stuff second. So
when you can fit it in.
Yeah, when you fit it in. I got
Same
this,
here.
I got this 2:00 thing with Rainn Wilson. It's on my Google Calendar, and I got to do that first. But Ramadan is one of the few times where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing with Rainn at 2. The afternoon prayers at like 12:30 or 1. Okay, maybe what I'll do is I'll like go to the green room. I'll try to knock it out. It's for the first time you start with spirituality.
It resets your priorities.
Yeah, and it's cool. And in a career that I am pursuing, where there's so much not in my control, and there's so much where you feel disillusioned and powerless, and it feels really confusing. That call from UTA, the audition that may or may not go your way, the healthcare bill that you got to cover for your kids, all that stuff. It gives me something quite grounding, and that's really cool. By the end of it, when it's Eid, I'm like very happy, but the journey is.
And I think too, as well, like when I'm hungry and I'm thirsty and it's 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, and you get your cotton mouth, you've got really bad breath, or you take a nap, to be again in that like, I'm living in sacrifice of the material for something greater than myself.
Yeah.
There is a
And then, you know what, Rainn, I'm coming back around. You're so right. You're so right. The power of art. Okay. I'm going to tell you a little story.
The Soul Boom Podcast. Subscribe now on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you get your stupid podcasts.